Well, hello. Welcome to Reach Out Recovery Podcast. Here, I'm Grace Fraga and my co-host Lindsay Glass. How you doing, Lindsay?
I'm pretty good. Thanks, Grace. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I today we're going to talk about the loneliness epidemic, which
Mhm.
is a really interesting topic because it is real. And I want to ask the audience something, and I want you guys to really sit with it before I move on. So, when was the last time that you felt truly seen by another person? Like not liked on Instagram, not like texted back in 2 minutes, or not being in a group chat. That's not what I'm talking about. I mean, seen, really seen. The kind of scene where someone gives you their full attention, looks you in the eye, and you feel it in your body. This person understands me. And if that question is hard to answer, you're not alone.
No, certainly not, because today we're talking about loneliness and the really deep kind. This is not the kind that you just kind of feel when you've been on your own for a couple days. This is the loneliness that haunts your soul. That's what we're talking about today. So yeah, not sitting alone on a Friday night, even when you're sitting with people and you still feel alone. So early in this episode, we're going to explain why loneliness hits the brain like it's physical pain.
Mhm.
But stay with us the whole time because we're actually going to share some conclusions of the longest happiness study ever conducted. It's an 85-year Harvard study. And that's kind of fun. And what they discovered about what actually makes a good life may completely change how you think about recovery, success, and connection. So, welcome to Reach Out Recovery. This is our podcast, the show for people doing the brave work of getting sober, staying sober, and building a life that actually feels good to live. So, join us today as we talk about the quiet epidemic that nobody warned us about.
Absolutely. Yeah, nobody did. And, do you feel lonely? Like, I don't feel lonely. I like my own company.
Yes, I'll tell you what happened quickly to open it up because I think it's really important for people who listen to know that we write and we talk about these things because we go through them ourselves. So I actually posted an article this week on Reach Out Recovery. I'll put it in the comments about the loneliness epidemic, and I put some great stats in. According to the World Health Organization, 900,000 people die a year because of loneliness.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I was lonely living in Los Angeles,
Yeah,
which
well, it's
is
a very lonely town. It really
it's
is.
right. So ironic. I'm living in one of the biggest cities in the country, and I was really, really painfully lonely.
Yeah,
So I had work, I had some people I knew, but I couldn't figure it out. So I made a major life change last summer, Grace, and I moved
I know.
from Los Angeles to Sarasota, Florida.
Where you
Um,
have family too, which makes it
yes.
easier to be connected. Is your dog crying or whining or something?
No, it's birds.
It hurts. Well,
Yeah,
tell her to stop.
I know. I'm sorry. It's like
No,
screeching birds.
I know.
So,
I thought it was the puppy, but
no.
no, it's the birds. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have community. It's very important to have community, I think, and not just family, but like,
Mhm.
I moved to Spain,
Yeah.
to Alicante, for anybody who didn't know about this, not long ago. And I moved here not knowing anybody. And the thing about Spain is that there is a very good sense of community. So everybody, for example, is like, good morning, good afternoon. Like if you don't say it, you're considered rude.
Right.
So yeah, and like in the building where I'm at right now, it's amazing. We have like a restaurant downstairs, and everybody's really sweet, and it's like a community, and everybody knows you and make sure you're okay. And that in itself made me feel like not alone in this crazy venture, escaping the US to for a better life in Spain. And yeah, I think it has to do a lot with community.
You make a hugely important point because So I moved to a small city in Florida, and I live on a golf course in a community,
Nice.
and I know all the neighbors.
Yeah.
We walk the dogs together. If
Yep.
somebody is sick or having surgery, neighbors bring them food.
Oh,
Um, and the other crazy thing, and I write about this and I'm going to share about it now. I'm in a serious relationship in Florida.
yeah.
So you would think coming from one of the biggest cities in the world, it would have been easier to meet people there, but that just wasn't my experience. Like I
Oh,
just
no.
wasn't finding the kind of relationships I wanted. So if
No.
you are looking for kind of a bit more of a small town community where you can join the tennis club and people every day are there and see, it's really a lifestyle decision. So we both moved into kind of smaller communities than Los Angeles.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Alicante is kind of like New Orleans. It reminds me of New Orleans. It's a small place. You can go by bus. I don't even need a car here. Transportation is amazing. And I made friends at the bus stop. I'm not kidding. Like we exchanged phone numbers.
I
And
believe it.
it's amazing. And from all over the world, like Italian Germans now have like a German friend, an Italian friend,
Right.
and it's just interesting too, because it's not just the same type of people. Like in LA, it was always the same type of
Right.
people, and they all kind of wanted the same things. But here
Yeah.
in Spain, it's just like such a rainbow of people that it's so cool. Because
Absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah.
and but yeah, it's very easy, especially if you immigrate to another country, which this is my second time. Yay. Um, hopefully it'll be my last time, but I'm not
Great
sure.
girl.
We're not going to talk about that. So it's very hard because you don't know anybody, you don't know what the country is like,
Yeah.
their customs, their habits, their like what's rude, what's not rude, and
Right.
so yeah, building community anywhere you move is or anywhere you are is the most important thing. So let's go to segment one, the question most people avoid. So when people hear the word loneliness, they often imagine one sad person sitting alone in a quiet apartment, right? But that's not the reality. In 2023, listen to this, Lindsay. In 2023, the US Surgeon General declared loneliness a public health epidemic.
Mhm. Yeah.
That is insane. That means loneliness is not just emotional discomfort, it's affecting physical health across entire populations. Is that insane?
Yeah, and that brings me back to the startling statistics of
Yes.
like the
Yes.
900. So you know what else it said? I put it in my, I don't know, one of my posts or articles that they equated it. Chronic loneliness is as bad as smoking 15 cigarettes a day.
That is insane.
Yeah. And I would add to that, what we now know is that over the last generation, Americans have lost an average of 2 close friendships.
That's a
Not
lot.
acquaintances, not followers. These are close friends, the kind of people that would answer the phone at 2 a.m. or let you come stay with them if you were in a bind. So here's the paradox of our modern life. We're more connected than we've ever been.
Hmm.
I have platforms with hundreds of thousands of followers. I don't know any of them.
Yeah,
Um, and I couldn't ask any of them for anything. So we're sending more messages. We follow more people. We consume endless amounts of content. And yet we are lonelier than our grandparents.
that's crazy. That's crazy. Now
Yeah.
you're not lonely. You have a lot of birds around.
Well, I'm not lonely anymore, but I have to tell you, like, I'm both a self help author and a mental health
No,
advocate.
I'm joking about your birds, the
No, I
birds.
know. They're everywhere. And if I turn the computer around, you would see that I live on a bird sanctuary. Sometimes I
Oh,
have cranes that are this high out there. You're lucky they're not
no.
there. They scream.
Can we see them? Can we see them?
You won't be able to with the camera. They're like in the trees. But yeah, I mean, I'll send you some pictures. We
That is so funny. Do
we
you
have hawks, we have birds of prey out there. Yeah, we got eagles here.
it's like a zoo.
Yeah, it's a bird sanctuary,
That's
Florida, kind
amazing. I
of.
love that.
Yeah. Um, I don't know what I was talking about.
Well, we're talking about how we are surrounded by more people like online, but
Mhm.
still we're more lonely than our grandparents. And
Right.
so what happened? Part of it, I think, is structural. Communities that used to create natural connection have been slowly disappearing, right? Like
Totally.
like church groups, I don't know, civic organizations, local clubs, neighborhood communities, union halls, bowling leagues. I mean, the casual social fabric that once tied people together, it's like gone.
So
So,
remember the 70s roller skating rink? Remember growing up? So I'm a child of the 90s. I grew up
yeah,
in the 90s, really. We didn't have cell phones. Like, if you wanted to know what was going on, you had to leave
right.
your house and go see the people,
Yep.
or it's just extraordinary. So everything it's crazy, because I think the young people really don't understand. When we were growing up, I had to go to Sunday school, I had to go to ballet class, I had to go to
Yeah.
all of these things because
Yes.
there was your parents weren't going to let you sit home and scroll.
No, absolutely. Well, no, there was nothing to scroll.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't have that.
No.
Um, so I think part of it is also the pandemic, which didn't create loneliness but magnified it dramatically. And I also think that part of it is social media, which often gives us the appearance of connection without the depth of a connection with someone else. But here's something important. If you feel lonely, it is not because you are defective. It may simply mean that you're a human in a world that has quietly dismantled many of the structures that once made connection easier. But do you know what the good news is, Lindsay?
What's the good news?
Connection can be rebuilt.
Can I want to say something. You sparked
Yes.
something in there. I was just talking with my mom a couple days ago that she really feels that her life has never rebuilt post pandemic.
Really?
I think if you're a person who is older, like a senior older,
Yeah.
that between both getting older and the health risks and everything else, I think it broke things down in a way that wasn't rebuildable.
Yeah.
I think they got out of the habits of going to their clubs and their groups. I know that 12 step is not the same. More people go to online meetings now than
True.
in person. And I have to say, there's something to be said for in person
A
meetings.
100%. Like I'm telling you, here in LA, I was very disconnected. I had my group of friends and everything, but I was more like wanted to stay inside and didn't want to go out. And here in Spain, I want to go out. I don't know what it is. People are more social. It's more like old world,
Yeah.
literally.
Yeah.
And they still, of course, everybody's on their phone and everything, but it's not like in the US.
I know.
And people go like there's a cafe downstairs and it's older people and they smoke. Everybody smokes here and they live to be 100. Don't ask me why. I have no idea how they do it. And they're like they're smoking. It's like they're like 102.
Yeah.
But they're like all the older people, like they go downstairs and they all meet. It's always the same people and they meet, they go for coffee, they chat, they tease each other. And I think that that keeps them actually living longer.
I do too.
Yeah,
Absolutely. No question.
a hundred
No question.
percent. But there's more community here. Even with they had the pandemic too, but I think because they are family oriented, but they also are independent.